So the purpose of this these 10 minutes here is it's part of an overall presentation on the new study work that has just started in 3GPP with regards to media production over 5G non-public networks. So this is the first part that gives some overview of 3GPP for those who are not familiar with 3GPP, and I apologize for those who are, who may not learn too much here. I'm Frédéric Gabin. I'm the chair of one of the working group of 3GPP dealing with media. And let's dive in. What's the content? First, the role of 3GPP as part of the industry, the telecommunications industry, the ecosystem surrounding 3GPP and the various groups and partners, some views on the insights of 3GPP's organization, and a focus on the SA Working Group 4, where this study is taking place, and the overall timeline. That was the content. The role of 3GPP as part of the overall mobile telecommunications industry. So in this cycle that starts from R&D, invention, proof of concept, there's a step of standardization, and this is where 3GPP is acting. Then there are trials, commercialization, etc. So 3GPP is just one step, I would say. It produces technical specifications and technical reports with a goal to provide a complete system description for mobile telecommunications. And the system description is characterized by a number of standardized interfaces, so our reference point. It's not a description of actual deployments or standardized deployments, it's really the interfaces, with the overall goal to enable interoperability between different actors, to enable multi-vendor, and have deployments with mass market economies of scale for the mobile network operators and the various partners in this industry without stifling innovation. So that enables innovation and standardization benefits. I'm on the 5G slide now. I hope you're with me. I'm sure you've seen this triangle 1,000 times. If you haven't, that's great that you can see it for the first time. It represents the goal with 5G. And 5G has been standardized by 3GPP in release 15. We're now working on release 17, and release 18 has started. And the goal is to have this is a representation here in this triangle where the 5G network is a platform that enables various types of applications. The most well-known application that was enabled by 4G is this mobile broadband, which is at the top of the triangle. This is the angle at the top. So high bit rates. And there are two new directions that are enabled by 5G. One at the lower right corner, which is this ultra reliable and low latency communications, which is one of an important technology trends with mission critical applications being enabled by this e-health, industry automation, augmented reality, etc. At the bottom left corners are the massive machine type communication type of application, where you have smart cities, lots of sensors and actuators and IoT devices with high density, not necessarily high bit rates or low latency, but high density and long battery lifetimes. The idea of this platform is to enable one network which is fully flexible, such that you enable any type of communication application, and that includes those artificial intelligence and automation ability, the future of device revolution with AR and VR, and of course the adoption of cellular networks by vertical industries like the media production industry, and that's where we're here today. The ecosystem of 3GPP consists of the standards organization, which are the partners of 3GPP. 3GPP stands for Third Generation Partnership Project. So it's a project among organizational partners, which are on the left-hand side here, which are regional standards organization, and they represent more than 700 companies who are members through these standards organizations. They are members of 3GPP. They come from China, Europe, India, Japan, Korea, and the US. At the bottom left, you will see 5G-MAG, which is now a 3GPP market representation partner of 3GPP, among others, for example, GSMA, to represent the mobile network industry, and others like 5G-AA for the automotive industry, etc. At the bottom, you'll see 5G projects and research projects which worked on 5G, as well as important certification bodies like the Global Certification Forum, which provides test specification, test catalog, and test suites for certifying devices before they enter into the market. And then on the right-hand side is a long list of partner organizations which are used in communication official liaisons, for example, cross-referencing of specifications and technology. 3GPP is made of specification groups. There are mostly three silos. One is radio access network, which deals with radio layer 1, 2, 3, the architecture and network interface within the radio access network, as well as performance aspects and mobile terminal testing aspects. Then there's the core network and terminals, which deals with network protocols between the user equipment, that's the phone, and the network, and the core network, or within core network entities themselves, as well as interworking with external networks, and the smart card, SIM card aspects. Finally, the service and system aspects. So the first group is SA1, and this is the group that is in charge of setting the service requirements for the rest of the work, and we will look into AV prod and VIAPA work items that were conducted there. And the next one is SA2, System and Architecture and Services. I guess Peter will talk about non-public networks, and this is work of SA2. So that's where they define the reference points. And then other groups like SA3 for security and privacy. The group I have the pleasure of chairing, SFO, which deals with multimedia codec systems and services, and then management and orchestration for SA5 and mission critical application for SA6. There's 3GPP follows a three-stage approach to standards. That's not the only group doing this. Stage 1 are the requirements, overall service description, and that's SA1's responsibility, and that is fed into Stage 2 work, which is the architecture work, defining the various function roles and the interfaces. And these architecture aspects are then used by Stage 3 groups, protocol groups that go into specifications that are actually used when implementing products and solutions. As part of these, SA4 does some architecture group, as for example, 5G media streaming architecture. So this is delegated by SA2. Some multicast aspects are as well delegated in terms of architecture to SA4. But it also defines codecs for speech, audio, video, graphics, other types like emerging media services like XR, online gaming, etc. SA4 specifies the content formats and delivery protocols, as well as other aspects like quality assessment metrics and requirements. And then you have the CT group, which do Stage 3 protocols and coding. Then we have the 5G timeline. As said, release 15, 16, 16 was release 16 was frozen last year. This is 5G phase 2. This is the full 5G IMT 2020 compliant submission. So it's a full 5G system. And then release 17, 18 are still 5G releases that will improve and extend the capabilities of 5G networks. As part of these of this timeline, here's the detailed timeline of SFO. I won't go through all the details, but there are work items that are ongoing. Work items meaning that they will give rise to normative specifications within release 17 and release 18, and study items which are feasibility studies that, for example, include this feasibility study on media production over 5G non-public networks that will continue till March 2022, and that belongs to a set of other studies that you can look at here. And I wanted to conclude with this and invite you to gather more information on the 3GPP website. If you want to attend special newcomers sessions, you're welcome. You can subscribe to the regular newsletter, and then we can obviously keep in touch for more. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you, Claudia.